Welcome to Auto Car Nerd, and today we're reviewing a SUV, a very special SUV. It's a Mercedes GLE. The Mercedes GLE is of course a replacement for the old Mercedes ML class, which were their mid-size SUV, and they thought they were going to make it a little bit different this time, and that's by basically taking the same idea that BMW did, which is in the X6, which is making a coupe SUV, which really sounds really retarded. Why the fuck would you want that? Because it looks like that. It looks so beastie. It looks really cool and has a very unique style to it, because most people don't buy SUVs only for the practicality, but also for the looks and the feeling you get when you're inside of them. I really love the design of this car. I think it looks even better than the BMW X6. But is it better to drive? Well, I will tell you that a little bit later, but it's a very comfortable car, I can give you that. You have a variety of different engines to choose from. You have a couple of petrol engines. This car starts at basically 69,000 euros. For 70 grand you get the GLE 400, which has a V6 engine, 333 horsepower. Then you have the GLE 43 AMG, 450 horsepower. Then you have the GLE 500, which has almost 450 horsepower, which is quite a lot. But if you want insane, you have all the money in the world. Then you have the GLE 63 AMG, 570 horsepower, and can probably beat any car, normal car on the road. And it looks so cool as well. Then you have one diesel, which is the GLE 350 diesel, which 250 diesel horsepower. It's a great engine. It's not as good as the BMW engine, I have to say. It's not as rapid in the beginning. Great 9-speed gearbox, so very comfortable. Sometimes in low speed though it's quite jerky. It doesn't want to accelerate. For example, if you're in comfort, you put it in sport, it's much aggressive. Standard equipment is also very generous. Keyless go is standard, so if you want to lock it, you press like this. You want to lock it, you push the handle. It's great that it works with every handle in the car. The interior of this car, well, it's great. You have a great practicality inside of it, and it feels really at home. And I think I'm going to switch cameras right now and we'll go for a drive. First feeling you get inside of it, and what a lot of people say actually, is some people say it's a little bit claustrophobic due to the car having, it's quite a big car, but the windows are not that tall. So some people think it's quite claustrophobic. Even I, first when I drove it, thought the same thing, and then I got used to it, and now it feels really roomy and nice. I think if you're going to buy this car though, the panoramic roof is an option to choose from. Yes, it does eat a little bit of headroom, but it does make the car a little bit more light in here, which I think really this car needs, and I think it looks really cool. Like I said, AMG interior package, which means you get a little bit nicer seats with a little bit different stitching, and that's pretty much it. Other options that in some countries air suspension not standard, you have to buy it for an optional extra. It's about 2 grand for that. You have different settings for the car. You have the first setting, which is quite nice, which is the normal comfort. Everything is just comfort, everything is very smooth. One step over that is the sport. It does change the characteristic of the gearbox, become much sharper. The suspension does get firmer, but it's still a very soft suspension. For example, the BMW will do like this in sport, really like you have really stiff coils. In this car, none of it. This car in sport is as comfortable as the normal BMW X5, X6 in normal condition. Then you have individual, which you can a little bit set however you want it to be. For example, I have the eco engine on, which basically means the engine will coast a little bit. I have the comfort suspension and the comfort steering. Options to get with these cars: You have some safety things that are standard equipment and something you have to pay extra for. The adaptive cruise control is standard, but then you have like basically a plus package you can buy, which basically means the car can steer itself, basically, which is really handy in the highway actually. If you're on a long journey, maybe you're drowsing off a little bit, the car will basically steer you in the right direction. On a nice country road it won't really work. The interior seating position is really good. You really feel like you're sitting inside of the car, which I really like. I love this steering wheel with flat bottom. Pedals also have a nice feel to them. Depending on which engine, of course, you have. The engines are great. The petrol engines are really good. And then this diesel engine, which is very smooth, great torque, great performance, a great engine overall, basically. Another cool thing you can get is if you go into dynamic select, this is the command system, by the way. You can see the engine data, which also BMW has, but I think it's a cool gadget to have. You also have another one which shows you your G, how much throttle you're using, how much steering angle you're using, which I also really think is quite cool. It's nice gadgets to have. It's a fun thing to have, to show off to your mates. Look at that, my car is displayed in my car. How about that? How about that? Volvo XC90, stay on your side of the road. Chassis, this car is dialed up for comfort. It's not a sports car. It's not even a sport. It is a sport SUV, I guess, but it's not like a BMW X6. It's nowhere near that. It's so beautifully comfort. The only thing is, a weird thing it does actually of a big bump, it basically do like this, like an old Cadillac. I personally don't care about that. I think it's a nice feel of it, that it's doing like this, just eating up the road. But some people don't like it. I don't know. It's not a complaint, it's just information all about. But it's such a fun car to drive, and you're so well insulated from the rest of the world in this. You sit really high up, which doesn't make your car sick. Some people, I don't know what it is, but when you sit high up, you don't feel the speed as the same way, and you don't get car sick. Some people are really sensitive for that. You put them in this car, man, you can drive them all day long, they won't feel shit, which is great. Engines, like I said, also great. Gearbox, 9-speed gearbox in this thing, only available gearbox in the normal cars. I think the AMG has a different gearbox. It's also it's a great gearbox, very smooth, very nice. In comfort, can be a little bit laggy in normal traffic conditions. You really have to plan a little bit ahead. If you put it in sport, it's definitely more aggressive. Fuel consumption is about 7 to 10 liters per 100 kilometers, depending on how you drive, which is not really that bad. And this car does came quite fully loaded from the factory, and you can basically also with can great packages, like I said, with nicer leather and all of that. But leather is standard across the range of it. So yeah, great car. The command system, I think is a little bit off BMW's iDrive. It's at same-ish level as the Range Rover thing, which I think is ish decent. I mean, I have some problems. When you're pairing my phone via Bluetooth, you sometimes kick it off, and sometimes even crashes. But the command, it's actually an okay system. Apple Carplay, I think, is an optional extra. You have to buy it an extra a couple of $100 or maybe $1,000 even if you get some kind of package with it, depending on which country you live in. But I love Apple CarPlay because you just plug in your phone and basically your car becomes a phone. So you can get all the telephone, text message, you can even use Siri, so you can call everybody up. I mean, you can do whatever you want, which is really cool. I think it works a little bit better than Mercedes' own system. And of course you get Spotify and Google Music or Apple's Music, whatever it's called, will work fine on it. Great system also if you're going to get phone calls and so on and so forth. Look how great Siri is in a car. Look at this Mercedes-Benz. Please do this in your vehicles when it works this good. Come on. Ring Amina.
Ringer Sofia Minne Travels i Krona. Rött hjärta.
Look at this.
Ädelsten.
Magnificent. Pure magnificence this here. Look at this. Yes. Every, yep.
Rumänsk flagga. Bunt med amerikanska dollar. Kring.
Mercedes. There you go. That's how you do it. Now we're gonna call her up just for fun. To see how this system works. I have my hand on the wheel in safety. The police won't give me a ticket because I'm a legal citizen. Let's see if he answers as well. It was great. But overall, it's a great car. The things I don't like about it, well, I wish the command would be better. I mean, I'm paying 80 grand for this car. I want the command to be perfect. I don't know why manufacturers are so far away from where it should be when it comes to that. But except that, there is not a lot of complaints. Headroom, it's also quite hard in here because I'm 190. I almost hit my roof here. Of course, I got the panoramic roof on this particular model, but you see the problem. It's a very big car, but still the headroom is not that great. And the build quality also, it's magnificent in here. I sort of don't like to have this thing, which is basically from every Mercedes ever made, but I don't really am that sensitive about it. And some of the door panels is a little bit loose, but I mean, it's really minor things. Overall, build quality in here, you feel like a king driving it. This adaptive thing also, like I said previously, works great. As you can see now, I can talk with my hands like an Italian, like a Bosnian. We always talk with our hands, and and the car basically gets it for you, and then it will tell you, okay, now you have to put the rolls on it. But thank you for watching this quick review. I hope you really liked this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video, and subscribe to all the other videos I have on the channel. And another thing about these cars in this class is these cars are so based on individuals. Like, I cannot say that BMW X5 or X6 is much better than this, and I cannot say the Range Rover is much better than it. If you want a comfortable car that looks really cool, get this. If you want a really cool sporty SUV, then you go for the X6. Top consumer advice, only here on fucking Auto Car Nerd. Fuck yeah.